Leaving the grid now are our DD2 drivers ready for their pre-final here at the Winter Cup, brought to you by RGMMC. Out they go onto a sunny but windy track. It's been incredibly violently windy here for the last week, almost every day and every part of every day. It's calmed down a bit. It's still very windy, but it's not quite the hurricane, and I mean hurricane type winds that we had on Friday and partially yesterday. So there is the grid on screen. You just heard from Kevin Ludi, an excellent day yesterday to take 3 wins. But it's worth pointing out, if you weren't watching yesterday, that on every occasion he wasn't exactly miles in front of the rest of the field. He had Ed Brand breathing down his neck a couple of times, and Ed Brand is the driver that lines up second. Ed, for the CRG team, his first season as a DD2 driver, having finished second, third and fourth in recent years in the Senior Euro Challenge. He's had a couple of DD2 outings in the past, but this is his first full season with them. And CRG took second in the championship last year with Paolo De Conto, so it's a good setup there. So that's the front row. 609 Kevin Ludi from Switzerland, 688 Ed Brand from Great Britain. On road 2, Oriol Caballero, the Spaniard, looking really good here this weekend. He's third on the grid in number 628. And on his DD2 debut, Giannis Slavinsky, straight from juniors. I think the youngest driver on the grid pretty much, doing really well. He's fourth on the grid in kart number 658. Row 3, another youngster, Konstantin Scholl, runner-up in the International Open at the end of last season. The Austrian driver in kart 611. Can he make it a good day for the Scholls? Nicholas has gone rather well. Let's see how Konstantin gets on in DD2. And teenager Christian Davis for Spain going very quickly as well this weekend. Number 616 starts 6th on the grid. Row 4, Cristobal Garcia is number 625. He's just become old enough to move into the Masters category for 32-year-olds and above, and he's the best Masters qualifier, as he's been for most of the weekend. So he starts 4th, looking for a Masters victory and see if he can get in the top 10 overall as well. Probably the top 6 he'll be looking for. And another Spanish driver, Gerard Cebrian Ariza, doing brilliantly yesterday. He started all the heats from the back, from dead last, and came storming through on a couple of occasions, so he's done well to be on the 4th row of the grid in kart 621. Then row 5, we've got another Spanish driver, Raul Abascal Lavin in kart 631, and his countryman Manu Bejarano, number 629, completes the top 10. Row 6, Villa Velainen and Sam Smelt. Row 7, Philip Siwa, who I think will be one to come through here. Had a bit of bad luck yesterday, but was quick. And Slawomir Moransky, the Polish driver. Row 8, Martin Pierce, another Masters driver, and Ivan Martinez. Row number 9, we got Andreas Lascaratos, who's come back to karting after 5 years away. And Imke Arts, she comes from the Netherlands, and she completes the 9th row of the grid. Row 10, Jules Kazan and Christophe Adams, an all-French row. Row 11, then we got Lucas Joly and Maxim Shiposhnikov, who comes from Russia. And Frank Laverne, number 623. He's at the back of the grid, 23rd, and here to talk you through the 12-lap pre-final and the start of the action. It's over to Matt Suckling.
Thanks, Chris. Here we go then for DD2. Calmest of the lot last year, not so this weekend. They've been very good with racing. Kevin Ludi on pole position as the race gets underway now, down towards the first corner. Ed Brand makes a tardy start. He tries to slot in somewhere on that inside run. He's down to about 5th or 6th place though, so not the start Ed Brand needed. He's not used to starting towards the front, of course. First pole in some 5 or 6 years. But Kevin Ludi starts out front and someone into the tyres. That's Ed Brand.
Ed Brand, and I think he might have bent the axle as well. He got squeezed wide. He'd had a bad start, hadn't he? And he's in the tyres, and he's dead last, and he's struggling along at the moment, Matt.
What a shame for Ed Brand. He's given the thumbs up there, so he may be able to get going once again, but he's got dirty tyres. He may have a slightly damaged kart as well, but what a poor start from Ed Brand. It's not going to do him any favours for the final. They've still got 11 laps to go. Kevin Ludi is the man who's out front. He leads this one then on towards the back straight for the first time, and some great opposition around him, of course. The Spaniard is there, Oriol Caballero, really strong yesterday within the heats, and it looks like he's had a good start in this one as well as they work their way through the final corner for the first time. Oriol is there in 2nd place. Further back in 3rd at the minute is 611, which is Konstantin Scholl. Again, from the inside run in towards the first corner, has managed to cement himself into 3rd place. And just behind him in 4th at the minute is going to be our Masters leader. Again, a fantastic start for the CRG team. Cristobal Garcia turned his way through the 3rd corner. He's got a slight gap to try and catch up with the top 3, who are going hammer and tong on the 2nd lap. It's going to be the man in 2nd, trying to find a way through Kevin Ludi. He's going to have his work cut out here by the looks of it.
Cristobal Garcia's made a good start, hasn't he? From 7th to 4th, he's the leading Masters driver, and a change of lead as another Spaniard moves forward, this time into the overall lead. Oriol Caballero, great move at the end of the straight to get ahead of Kevin Ludi. The man with the green helmet leads the race then. Spain are in front of Switzerland. And in third place, it's Austria. They're together as they go through the flat out turn 9. And on the brakes now, down the gears, 2 gears on these DD2, of course, and brakes on all 4 wheels. So they're able to slow the karts down very quickly and accelerate again. And Kevin Ludi goes straight back into the lead. He just drives through the inside of the Oriel Dalmel karts, and Constantin Shaw had a look as well as they went through into turn 2, but settles behind in third. So it's Ludi from Oriel Dalmel Caballero, from Constantin Shaw. We're going to have a change for 5th just behind as well, I think. Ville Verleinen, is that making a move? Yeah, Ville Verleinen, the Finnish driver, has just gained a place up to 5th, ahead of Garcia. In fact, Garcia has dropped a couple of positions now because up into 4th place. We've got the 6-3-1 car to Larry Abascal, who's looking good at the start of this race. Ed Brandy's still going, but he's a long way at the back of the field. But he is going, and he's catching 1 or 2 drivers, just trying to get as many places up the grid as he can. But real disappointment, and it sort of robbed us of a good battle. That bad start he had was what got him in trouble, really, through turns 3 and 4. And he got caught out, I'm afraid, and squeezed out because the kart was struggling along. So had a couple of iffy starts this weekend, but that was the worst of them, I'm afraid. Try and find out on the grid for the final what went wrong. But here are the top 3 into turn number 1. No overtaking this time. Kevin Ludi is able to fend off Oriel Dalmel Caballero. So Matt, he's got rid of what looked like his main rival for the time being, Ed Brand. But it looks like he's got another couple of quick karts to deal with. Yeah, someone else has managed to make the battle continue, which is good for us, too, in fact, because Constantin Scholl is not too far back in 3rd place. So some great speed they are showing, and I think the tow here at the circuit this weekend is more important than ever, of course, especially with the wind. And that showed with Kevin Ludi a couple of laps ago, and also showed with Oriel Dalmel Caballero that previous time round, but couldn't quite get the move done at turn number 1. But still, he's on the tail, glued to the back of Kevin Ludi as they make their way on towards the back straight once more. Constantin Shaw, as we said, in 3rd place. 4th place at the minute is going to be Abascal Lavim, and then we've got Villianen up into 5th place now. Oh, and someone's gone straight on. That's the 4th place man, isn't it, who goes straight through at the chicane. Abascal Lavin, who drops down the order. That's going to be confirmed on the screen. I don't know what quite happened there. Just looked like he maybe just outbraked himself. Looks like it, yeah. It took him a while to get going again, didn't it? So he's way down the order now, I'm afraid. He's down to 20th place after that. Ed Brand's not last anymore. He's up to 22nd. We've had a spin as well at turn 3. Catching them all out this weekend, isn't it? 616 is the driver that's come to grief. Christian Davis, that's 2 quick Spanish drivers in drama within a lap of each other. Christian to the back of the field now. So Ed Brand's going to be up to 21st position. Not what he wanted still, is it? But Oriel Dalmel Caballero is keeping the Spanish flag flying here. He leads the race. He's looking good. He's got Kevin Ludi, who will be absolutely desperate not to be second on the grid, but to be on the inside line. So Kevin will fight hard to get this win back. He's not going to get a trophy. He's not going to get the Winter Cup title, but he's going to get pole position if he can get ahead of the Spaniard. But Constantin Scholl has just been shadowing his every move. Kevin's got to be careful here, because if he goes for a move and it doesn't work and he has to get off the throttle, Constantin will be right in there. And the other one who we should really start to consider now, Matt, is Ville Verleinen. The 4th place man, the Finn, is flying. He's gained 7 places in this race. He's gone from 11th to 4th, and at the moment he's about 0.3 of a second a lap quicker than the top 3. Yeah, he's already brought that gap down to less than half a second as Constantin Scholl goes for a move, and Kevin Ludi to jump now up into 2nd place. So Kevin Ludi had a strong start. Now just trying to get himself back into some sort of rhythm. He looks back for the inside at turn number 8 and gets the move done. So Kevin Ludi does hold on to that position for the time being, but Constantin Scholl had it for a corner or so. But you're right there, watch out for Verleinen in what's going to be now 4th position. Really coming on strong within this race. He's just sitting there watching what's happening ahead of him and possibly looking to make a move over the next few laps, as Kevin Ludi is under attack once more from Constantin Scholl, who gets the job done this time at turn number 1, and he should, yes, just be able to make it stick there. So Scholl goes through, Ludi drops down to 3rd place, 4th place is Verleinen, and Davinas Levinsky, another man to watch this weekend, has jumped now up into what's going to be 5th place. Another race for him where he's had to work his way through, but before too much longer he could be with the top 4 now, as he's got clear track ahead of him. He's going to try and make that gap come down as much as possible, and he could be a challenger for the lead of the race. But look at the gap Oriel Dalmel Caballero has got now. It's near enough a second over the rest of the pack. Ville Verleinen's looking menacing, isn't he, in 3rd place? Certainly Kevin Ludi seems to have gone off the boil here. If he's got an issue with the tyres or the kart, don't forget they all have the 2 sets of slick tyres that they can use during the course of the weekend, during the course of the competitive part of the weekend. They can use what they like in practice, but once we get to qualifying and the races, they have only 2 sets of tyres. Now, it might be that Kevin has opted to save his better tyres for the final rather than use them up here. There might be people further down the pack that have put the new tyres on knowing they need to gain places, but it might be that perhaps he's one of the drivers that's saving his tyres, so it might not be a total disaster. He definitely looks like he's got off the ball as Verlainen goes through. Nice move, that up through the inside of the S-bend section to get ahead of Konstantin Scholl and into second place. Verlainen is driving really well here. Konstantin Scholl keeps calm, gives him the room and goes with him, and maybe he can work with the Finn now to catch back up to the race leader. Oriol Damo Caballero is about 6/10 clear of them as they go onto the back straight. Fourth place is Kevin Ludi. Giannis Slavinsky has caught the Swiss driver up now, and he's getting closer and closer as they come towards the chicane, and goes through. Lovely move from Giannis Slavinsky. Great drive, really good from the Belarusian. He clenches his fist and gets straight on with the business of trying to catch the next three drivers.
And just remember, with Kevin Ludi, he has been the best starter this weekend so far. So he may be down in 5th place for now, but if he can get a tremendous start like he's had in the heats and, of course, previous races, then he could storm his way through once more. And as Chris said, especially if he's got new tyres saved as well, he's going to be one of the top contenders for the final. Ed Brand, just to look at his progress, he's now back up into 17th position and already looking to make a move here on the next car ahead of him, which is going to be Abascal Lavin. So both of those working their way through the field. Ed Brand is 17th, Abascal Lavin is there in what's going to be 16th place. So some good progress being made. Still time to play with. Good 2 laps to go now for everyone. But what a race it has been for the Spaniards so far. Oriol Dalmu Caballero in towards the last corner, goes across the line now. The gap between himself and Verlainen is up to a second. But watch out for Konstantin Scholl again, looking very racy in 3rd place. Was trying to steal away 2nd place on that lap, but couldn't quite get it done. But 2nd and 3rd are very good at the minute. 4th place then is Davina Stavinsky, who continues to make his way through the order. Kevin Ludi drops down to 5th place, and 6th place at the minute is Sebrian Aritza, the Spaniard, who sits there just ahead of Sam Schmelt. And our first Masters racer, great race for him, Martin Pierce, who is ahead of Moransky, Christoph Adams and Cristobal Garcia, really dropped down the order.
Yeah, Garcia's had an issue that we didn't spot somewhere, but he's coming back up the order. He's got back up to 13th place and 3rd in Masters. On Twitter, Seaburn says, so disappointed not to see a great battle with Ed Brand up front in DD2 at Tough Sport at karting. Hashtag Valencia. Well, keep your messages coming in via RGMMC. An update on Ed Brand is that he is making progress now. He's up to 17th. He's actually quicker than the race leader. So, you know, I've seen Ed come from the back to the front before. Don't rule him out completely yet. He's still got time. Maybe not for the win, but he'll still get a good result out of this if he can survive the dramas on the first lap of the final and get a better start, hopefully. Right, Johnny Slavinsky is onto the tail of Konstantin Scholl. You can see them on screen. That is the battle for 3rd place. Kevin Ludi, meanwhile, has got his work cut out to stay in 5th place because Gerard Sebrian Arita has had some stunning drives through the order this week and is right on his tail in 6th place. Martin Pierce, the leading master, is 7th. And then we've got Jolie in 8th place. Adams in 9th, the 2nd best master. And Moransky, also another master in the top 10. Konstantin Scholl is working really hard here to keep Slavinsky behind him, and up front, 0.4 of a second the difference between the top two. On this lap alone, more than 0.2 of a second quicker is Ville Verlainen. Now, look at the battle for 3rd as they swoop down into the chicane. Konstantin Scholl is trying to get his place back, but Slavinsky got the inside line and he couldn't do anything about it, so the Austrian has to concede. Slavinsky up to 3rd place, Scholl in 4th, and coming after them now, having got past Kevin Ludi, is Sebrian Arisa in 5th place.
Yep, he certainly has, into 5th. Can he get 4th and 3rd on what's now going to be the last lap of this DD2 pre-final? 2 battles to watch out for here, one for the lead and one for 3rd place as well, so not too sure where we're going to go, but we'll keep on the lead for the time being as Oriol Dalmu Caballero turned his way onto the short straight down towards turn number 7. Still behind him is Verlainen, and for 3rd place, any change? Oh, maybe they're trying to go side by side into the corner, which they do, and a massive move from 5th to 3rd does go the Spaniard. What a move there from Gerard Sebrian Naritza. He jumps up into 3rd place. None of those saw it coming. They both had to give way, so down they drop. Davina Stavinsky and also Constantine Scholl. Meantime, the checker flag is about to be waved to Oriol Danmu Caballero. The Spaniard comes through to win the DD2 pre-final. What a race for him ahead of Vili Vilanen by just a tenth of a second. Great drive from both of those. Third place then goes to that man who made the move on that last lap to grab 2 positions. He gains 5 in total though. Gerard Sebrian-Naritza jumps to 3rd. Constantine Scholl goes to 4th. Dzina Slavinsky comes through in what's going to be 5th place. And Kevin Ludi from pole position ends up down in 6th position. But we think he may have brand new tyres for the final, or better tyres than those around him. So watch out for Kevin Ludi in the final. Great race there for us. 7th place man, which was 6.24. Lucas Joly comes through. 14 places gained within that race, ahead of our Masters winner, which was Martin Pearce. Then we see in 9th place, 7th positions gained for 6.32, which was Ivan Martinez. And our second Masters inside the top 10 was that of Christoph Adams. But what another cracking race. We thought we would see Ed Brand towards the front, but in the end it was a different battle up front that didn't include Ed Brand. It didn't include Kevin Ludi. It was between Oriol Danmu Caballero and Vilanen, of course, who come through in 1st and 2nd. And just to let you know, Ed Brand finished that race down in 14th place, and that's where he'll start the final later on this afternoon.